My husband woke up on a Saturday morning. He had noticed that I had had really funny breathing all night. When they took me to the hospital, they found out that my blood oxygen level was only 36%. And the doctor asked me, he said, if I intubate you to save your life, can I do it? And I must have had a funny look go over my face because I had heard horror stories of this. And I said, if you will be extremely careful, I'll let you. And so before he intubated me, I was able to say goodbye to my family just by phone. Had no idea what the journey would be, but I know my God was faithful. While I was there on the ventilator, the hospital staff were in contact with my family every single day. After rounds every morning, they would phone my family and give them updates. I was on the ventilator for 9.5 days. When they took me off the ventilator, then I was very, very restless because of the drugs, coming off of the drugs that did that. The hospital staff phoned my family and said, you have to talk her down. She's so restless. They asked the family, prayed with me, talked to me. They put on praise and worship for me that whole night. And it was like I had a whole night date with God. The next day, the hospital transferred me back to our rural hospital. But before I left, I had a nurse stick her head in my room and she said, Dorothy, your family doesn't know this, but I was on the other side of that screen when you were at the most critical of your health. And she says, I have never seen a family as strong. I saw them read the Bible to you, tell you you're coming home, speak that life into you. And that's years and years of the teaching that we had gotten, getting into the Word, standing on the Word, and knowing that God's Word never returns void. It'll always do what God's commanded it to do. There was no recovery plan that they had for me. So we started walking. The first day, I could walk barely 50 feet to our neighbor's driveway and come back. Within about 6 months, we were walking 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day, walking to a local coffee shop that was 1.5 kilometers away and walking back. And a couple weeks after that, I was mowing the lawn. As I was laying in my hospital bed, I was asking God, what do you want me to do different? And it was like God said, I want you to go out there and love people more, and you don't always have to be right. And it's so exciting to see how God has brought people into my path since then, people that I can share my story with, people that I can bring hope to, a hope that doesn't disappoint, a hope that is anchored in Jesus. The enemy wants to throw all kinds of negative thoughts at our minds. And so I would purposefully think of either, as I was falling asleep, I'd think of either a song that talked about God's love, His faithfulness, a Bible verse, and I would just purposefully play those few lines over and over and over in my mind. And every time I woke up, those thoughts were still there, to just focus on more of God's faithfulness and what He does for us. And so to Him, whether it's a cold, whether it's cancer, whether it's pneumonia, being on a ventilator, or a paper cut, makes no difference to God. He said that He's come to heal us of all our diseases.